Stephen Miller is an American political advisor serving as White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor since 2025. He previously served as a senior advisor to the President and Director of Speechwriting from 2017 to 2021 during the first Trump administration. Considered one of the most influential figures of the Trump administrations and Trumpism movement, his politics have been described as a far-right, anti-immigration, and white nationalist. So Stephen Miller sounds like Miller Band, the famous American band, music band, but he's not a musician, not a comedian, but a political advisor. To me, his facial figure shows that he's not a normal white male, but somewhat determined, something far right, white nationalist. So let's read an article about him, right? This article is from Yahoo News. The title is Danish Politician Accuses Stephen Miller of Having Mentality of a Rapist Tours Greenland in Shocking MS Now Interview. Rapist mentality. Jennifer Bowers Barney. Sunday, January 18th, 2026. MS Now's Alex Witt offered an on-air disclaimer after a member of Denmark's parliament made a shocking statement about Chief White House aide Stephen Miller having the mentality of a rapist towards Greenland. Danish MP Rasmus Jarlov spoke with Witt on Saturday about President Donald Trump's continued threats to take over Greenland, which has been firmly under the auspices of Denmark since 1814. Wow, more than 12 years, right? Under the auspices, that's good expression. Under the auspices of Denmark since 1814, firmly under, I have a cold. We called it nose cold because cold is mostly concentrate on my nose, making my nasal sound more pronounced, and I felt a little bit dizzy. I think I went to 2 weddings on Saturday. Probably I got caught a virus of some sort while interacting with people there. Probably a coronavirus, not sure. We played a video of Miller arguing for Greenland to become part of the United States before asking for Jarlov's response. Denmark is a tiny country with a tiny economy and a tiny military. They cannot defend Greenland. They cannot control the territory of Greenland. Under every understanding of law that has existed about territorial control for 500 years, to control a territory, you will have to be able to defend a territory, improve a territory, inhabit a territory. Denmark has failed on every single one of these tests. In a shocking response to Miller, Jarlov said, "I hope he's kept away from young women, because that's the mentality of a rapist. You cannot defend yourself, so I'm going to take you." That's basically what he's saying. Jarlov went on to slam Miller's understanding of international law. United States have signed several treaties with Denmark recognizing the ownership. One of them was in 1917, Jarlov said. So this is a new position from the American government, and we have to be able to trust their promises, the words, and the alliances that we make with Americans, because otherwise it's not worth anything. Being an ally of Americans, he said, and I think it's very crucial that we stay together because our alliance, our partnership has kept us safe. Before going to break, Witt acknowledged Jarlov's characterization of Miller. I will say that there was a very harsh analogy that you made there at the top of this answer. Witt said, I understand that is your opinion and the analogy you wanted to make. I will say that we don't share in that opinion here at MS Now, but I do appreciate your conversation overall in all of the points you have made. Watch the clip above via MS Now. The post, Danish politician accuses Steve Miller of having mentality of a rapist towards Greenland in shocking MS Now interview. First appeared on Mediaite.
Controlled the Northeast for over a decade. 8 European countries targeted by President Donald Trump's 10% tariff for opposing American control of Greenland blasted the move, warning that his threats risk a dangerous downward spiral of the transatlantic alliance. Defense officials ordering 1,500 active duty soldiers ready for possible deployment to Minnesota. The mayor of Minneapolis calling the potential move ridiculous and unconstitutional, urging protesters to remain
They're kind of
peaceful.
ridiculous,
In
but
Sri
the
Lanka's
crimes on
Colombo,
the
a purple
streets
star sapphire weighing
in America is terrible.
3,563 carats was unveiled Saturday, estimated to be worth at least $300 million.
What? $300 million? So we go back and try to watch this, right? Trump administration, Greenland, NATO, Danish politician. Advertisement in Korean because I am a Korean. I live in Seoul. I work for Korea Telecom, KT, the #1 carrier and cloud service provider and AI company in Korea. Right? We are going to be the Google opponent, right? We are going to compete against Google, Tesla.
Rasmus, you may be somewhat dismayed to hear what one of Donald Trump's senior advisors, Stephen Miller, had to say. Please take a listen to this. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
Denmark is a tiny country with a tiny economy and a tiny military. They cannot defend Greenland. They cannot control the territory of Greenland. Under every understanding of law that has existed about territorial control for 500 years, to control a territory, you have to be able to defend a territory, improve a territory, inhabit a territory. Denmark has failed on every single one of these tests.
Rasmus, you gave a pretty comprehensive answer, pretty much countering everything Stephen Miller had to say before I asked this question. But if you could say one thing to Stephen Miller, what would you like to say?
I hope he's kept away from young women because that's the mentality of a rapist. You can't defend yourself, so I'm going to take you. That's basically what he's saying. And it has never been like that in international law that he's saying. On the contrary, the United States have signed several treaties with Denmark recognizing the ownership. One of them was in 1917. Actually, you see the painting right behind my shoulder here? Those men that you can just see there, they sold the Virgin Islands to the Americans in 1917. Part of that deal was you get the Virgin Islands and you recognize full Danish control over Greenland. So it has never been the U.S. position that we don't have a right to Greenland. They signed several treaties and the entire world voted for Greenland's full integration into Denmark in 1954 in the UN Plenary Assembly in New York, including the United States. So this is a new position from the American government, and we have to be able to trust the promises, the words, and the alliances that we make with the Americans, because otherwise it's not worth anything being an ally of the Americans. And I think it's very crucial that we stay together because our alliance, our partnership has kept us safe. U.S. administration is saying they don't want their adversaries to take over Greenland, but please don't make Europe your adversaries. We don't want that.
All right, Rasmus, I will say that there was a very hard...
Interesting. So the mentality of a rapist, you cannot defend yourself, so we are going to take you, right? That's mentality of a rapist. But Stephen Miller, I am not sure if he has that mentality, but definitely they are hawkish, right? They are going strong with their intention to take over Greenland. As for me, I wish we Koreans are sent to Greenland so that we can control and establish a nice country there and work with Denmark, right? We could defend Greenland, right? We can fight off any adversaries to Greenland who are trying to control the Greenland. In Asia, we have much large population, so China, Japan, Korea, Taiwan can chip in and help control the Greenland, right? We send the vehicles, Kia, Hyundai cars, tanks, airplanes, soldiers, criminals, right? The criminals should be sent there and work on the farms with the shackles on. So that kind of arrangement could populate Greenland and make the Greenland beautiful again, make Greenland great again, right? MGGA, right? MGGA, Muga, right? Muga instead of Mega. We respect Greenland, we respect Europe, we respect America, but there got to be a solution to this. Personally, I think it's best not to touch the issue of Greenland and just get on with our lives. But since the Trump administration raised the issue, we should deal with the issue, right? Thanks for listening. Have a great Monday. Today is Monday, January 19th, 2026. I am planning to travel to China next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.